Welcome to the Couples Expert Podcast with Stuart Fensterheim, LCSW, your source for the latest tips and practical down-to-earth advice on creating emotionally connected, thriving relationships. Now, here's Stuart.
Hi there, and welcome to the Couples Expert Relationship Podcast. This is Stuart Fensterheim, the Couples Expert. I'm back from vacation. This was such an incredible vacation, and I want to talk a lot about that today because it really allowed me to learn a lot about myself, about connection, about the impact of travel on couples, and how we all need to be able to set aside some time for ourselves and our partners. And I'm very excited to really be back because what I want to share has to do with the essential ingredient that goes into a vacation. Vacations are something that I've recently read a study and found out that for Americans especially, they are taking fewer and fewer vacations, and as a result of that, their relationships and their work lives are suffering. And it makes a lot of sense to me, particularly now that I've come back from a cruise to Rome that I took with my adorable wife, Debbie, and she and I took a week-long cruise to the Mediterranean, and we visited Barcelona. So basically, we visited Spain and Italy. And I allowed myself to do something different than I ever have, and that is to put aside time for the two of us. And I went to a place that I knew, and it almost was on purpose. I knew I would not have access to the internet and rarely would have access to technology that would allow me to reach anyone. Because in that way, we can make sure that the two of us are going to devote that time to our relationship. And that's really what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how to really send the message to your partner. One of the things that always seems to happen to me when I go overseas, and I've not done a lot of travel overseas, but I've done it a few times now. Last year, we did another trip to the Mediterranean. And the experience is really interesting because when you go to a foreign country where you don't speak the language, you begin to appreciate the cultural differences of different people that in different worlds. And one of the things that always happens to me is when I go to a country in which I am not comfortable with the language, and although I took a little bit of Spanish in high school, I really am not very fluent in it. And Italian is like a whole other problem. But what the experience was is the experience of coming across people who do not speak my language and learning how to communicate with them. What I found more than anything is I became very quiet. I became quiet because I didn't want to put myself in a position where I'd be uncomfortable and not sure what to do. And so often, we don't appreciate those people who come to this country without speaking the language and acclimate themselves to American culture and come in and begin to learn how to speak the language. It is such an incredible experience. And when I would come across someone that was English speaking, the feeling of relief was incredible. And I don't think we give people enough credit who have come to this country not speaking English and come in and learn how to do that. English is a difficult language, but so is Spanish and so is Italian. And there's a feeling of disconnect that I think happens. Now, for my wife and I, what it did, because neither one of us speak Italian or Spanish, it brought us closer together, and we felt a dependency on one another that we didn't normally have for small things, going to the bathroom, figuring out if we needed to get transportation somewhere, how do you do that? How do you work the metro machine in Italy or in Spain when the language was not there? And so often, what would occur is we'd come across something like an ATM where we wanted to get some cash because we needed it to get on the bus or to get on the metro, and we couldn't even figure out how to do that. And every so often, there'd be someone who'd come by, see us struggling, and offer to help. And sometimes they spoke the language, sometimes they didn't. And it was such a fulfilling experience. And one of the things I wanted to share is that one of the things that we did that I absolutely loved was we went to an Italian opera at the bathhouses in Rome. And there was very few people there that spoke English. But every so often, we'd run into someone, we'd see that they were interacting in English. And I recall a situation that we were in a grocery store, and finding something in the grocery store was incredibly difficult. And I just want to send the message out to all of you who may be bilingual that I believe that every single American should have the experience to go to a foreign country not speaking this language and know how difficult it is, and that how much we all need to reach out to one another and let each other know that we care and that we want your life to be easier and that we want to be there to help you. And as a couple, we need to keep in mind that interdependency that sometimes we have to one another. And that if you can have a relationship where connection and love is strong, you can go to a different culture, to a different place, and really feel like you're in this together. You know, what I want to make sure that I do today is talk a lot about how to maintain connections in your relationship. And not only that, the essential reason that vacations are critical. They're not an option. And when I have couples who come in to see me, and one of the things that people often ask me is, all right, I need to get my wife a present, an anniversary, a birthday, and I'm not sure what to do, how to make it important. I know my wife wants a ring, or I know my wife wants a purse, but I don't know if I can afford that, and how do I make sure that the gift that I give my partner is meaningful? The best gift you can give your partner is going to be one in which the two of you have increased shared experiences of one another. And I want to make sure that all of you, when it comes Christmas time, to think about the shared reason that you're in this world together, developing this relationship, so that the two of you can have experiences that bring you close, that allow both of you to be important. There is no other experience but a vacation to a place that's new and different that can allow you to have that. Before I get into some of that, I wanted to, though, share something that's going on, which is I've just upgraded my website. My website has been something that I've really felt good about, but more and more as technology grows, you know that when you buy a computer, by the way, that as soon as you get it home, it's already outdated. It's really true with websites. So much happens so quickly. And I've sort of struggled with doing it, but I finally decided that I was going to create and take some time to really make a website that speaks my language, that is about my passion. And one of the things I'm very happy about is this new website that I've just released is that I want all of you, all of my community of listeners, all those people who have been following this podcast for a while, to go out and check out my new website. One of the things that I'm going to be doing that's so different that I really haven't seen anyone recently, or I don't think I've ever seen anyone doing this that's a counselor. And it's a little bit of a risk from a time-intensive standpoint. But one of the things I'm going to offer on my website is a chat. I think we've all seen those ones that where you go and you want to check out and buy something. There's the "May I help you" thing that pops up. Sometimes that's annoying, sometimes it's not. And what we're going to have is we're going to have for at least 15 hours a day, from around 5 a.m. to around 10 p.m. We're going to have live people, live counselors on call, answering your questions when you get to my website about my services, about emotionally focused therapy, about couples relationships. It's not going to be counseling, but it's going to be, I want to really reach all of you and send the message that my caring about couples around the world and changing the nature of relationships is real, and that we are investing our time and our energy in helping those that come to my practice and those that are just seeking some help and getting information. And that's why I do this. So I want to really let you know to please go to the website, send me an email at stuart@thecouplesexpertscottsdale.com. Let me know what you like about it, some things you wish were different, because I'm always upgrading and I want to be a person that can really offer all of us, all of my community, a place to come to really have a feeling that you're not in this world alone, because we're in this together. The other thing I'd like to remind all of you is about my Facebook page, which is The Couples Expert on Facebook. Please like my page. Please comment on my posts. I know it's hard from a marriage counselor standpoint. And I was thinking about that the other day, that I do all these posts, but one of the things that I have not been getting is a lot of comments on it. And I wonder about whether or not that's because some of you don't necessarily want to be out there saying, "Oh, I'm coming on a marriage counseling post." But I want you to really feel like you can comment on the topics and let me know whether the things that I'm saying, whether you like them, and if you do like it, if you disagree with what I'm saying, I want you to let me know that as well. I also want to remind you about my 2 Days and 7 Conversations weekend. The next one's going to be September 10th and 11th. Please check it out on the website at www.thecouplesexpertscottsdale.com. And lastly, to please remember, you can click on the button below the player and you could subscribe to the podcast. I want to have as many people get this information, so please let people know about the podcast and how to subscribe. I want to tell you a funny story. My wife and I do a lot of cruising. And one of the things that has been an ongoing joke with me and my children, and some of you are aware that my wife and I are in a marriage where both of us have been married before. And the joke that happened for quite a while with myself and my now adult children is, "Dad, you always come back from cruises, and when you come back from the cruise, you and the person that you've been in a relationship with break up." It's really true. The truth is, cruises and vacations will let you know really what you have and what you don't have. And for quite a while, I was dating a number of people before I met my wife, and I would find out when you spend 24 hours, 7 days with someone, you really find out who they are as a person. And a lot of times, that's not something that you can live with. And that happened to me on a number of occasions. So I really have looked at vacations, especially cruises, because you're really together in this ship, and there's really not much else but the two of you to really make or break the vacation, as a way of really getting to know someone's heart and what their style of relating is. And if you find someone that you're in a relationship with and you're wondering, is this someone I really want to spend my life with, go on a cruise, because you'll find that out rather quickly. And I did. And my kids, when they met my now wife, and they liked her, and they said, "Dad, don't ever go on a cruise with Debbie." I said, why not? I love her. We're going to have fun. He said, but you always break up. We don't want you to break up with Debbie. So I then went on a cruise with Debbie, and we came home and we stayed together, and now they're okay about it. But what's so exciting about vacations when it comes to a relationship is it allows the two of you to really walk away saying, we have some special memories and special experiences. One of those memories this past vacation for my wife and I was when we were in Rome. We heard the Pope was going to be giving a talk, and the two of us wanted to see the Pope rather badly. And for me, as a man married to a Catholic woman, seeing the Pope was going to be something special for her. As a Jewish man married to a Catholic woman, it was even more important and special. And why that is because at least this Jewish man really have found the things that this Pope has done and the way that he has talked about religion and helping cultures come together and different religions come together has been an incredible experience. One of the things I learned in Rome is that this Pope went into a synagogue to meet with a number of rabbis, and he's one of the first, if not only, Pope that has ever done that. And more, I like his way of dealing with things like alternate lifestyles and his going out into the public. He's just really an approachable person and not someone, at least for myself, as someone from a different religion, that sees that would be a negative, that he would look down on me because I don't have the same beliefs in Jesus Christ as he does. And what's so neat about that for me is it really begins to have us have dialogues about what's the best part of religion, which is peace and love and harmony, which is what my teachings are for couples, and what emotionally focused therapy is really about, is having a relationship with another human being where the two of you see the good in each other and recognize that you both are interdependent on one another and need each other for your sense of self and the happiness that you have in the world. And in taking experiences and traveling and the learning that comes with that, the education that had come with my wife and I visiting Barcelona and Rome and Sicily and going and seeing, and one of the most fun things we did, from my standpoint, is we did a 4x4 excursion. We were in a 4x4, and they pull up across this gorgeous place, this pond, and in the back are these weird kind of houses. They're houses that I saw, and it just didn't jive to the environment. And what I learned, and some of you may have seen the movie Popeye with Robin Williams, and this is the place that they filmed it. And when they finished the production of the movie, they left, and what they did is they left the village. And now it's a water park that people come. And one of the things I'm going to do is have some photos on my show notes that are going to show you a little bit about Popeye's Village and some of the places that my wife and I saw. And really what vacations let the two of you do is have time away from the children and the pressures that allow you to be more spontaneous and more at ease with one another, and gives you the time without worrying about the phone and those types of things. And I'm going to say this to more for the male part of the relationship, the guys. One of the things that most people come into my office and tell me when they get back from their vacation, that they have not had a more erotic sexual experience than the two of you being allowed to really just be flirtatious, spontaneous, and that vacations is something that people look so much forward to because they know their sex life will be incredible for that time period. And then when you get back, and if it's a little bit more stressed, a little bit more pressured, you don't have to worry about it because you know there's going to be another vacation right around the corner. One of the things I also, as a side note, want to talk about is that my practice is really going through a number of changes too, and some of you may be aware that I am now doing video. I'm doing a tremendous amount of video now. I am now on almost 150, if not more, and I'm going to get that number in a second. I'm going to ask one of my associates to get that number for me, but I have now been doing daily videos, and it's an astronomical number. And I thought I would not want to do it and be that committed to it, but I now love it. And I'm offering these 3 Minutes with Stuart videos. It's on the Facebook page. It's also on my YouTube channel. And I really would like comments, as I said, about Facebook on those too. And if there are topics you want me to talk about, let me know and I will do that. And it has been so much fun and so rewarding. And one of the really, although difficult things is prior to my vacation, I wanted to live up to that daily video, and I knew I was going to be out of town. So within a week's time, I had to do 21 videos. And it was a real challenge, and I wasn't sure I'd be able to do it. But then I was listening to a woman that does some marketing teaching on video and how to use it in your practice to let people know your message. And she mentioned this comment about if you want to get better, just do it. And what I want to send the message to all of you is if you want a better relationship, just do it. Just do the things that you know are necessary and don't give up. And all of us need to really keep that in mind, that in vacations or in our relationships or in anything that we do that are important to us and that are important to you, if your relationship is something that most of us can say, there's nothing that matters that much to me than this, then how could you give up on it? Because if you do, if you're giving up on yourself, one of the cruises have entertainment. And every night at about 7 o'clock, we'd go see a variety show. And one of the things that happens to me quite often is when I'm sitting there, my mind starts to wander. And it did this time especially. And they were singing a song, and I can't remember the exact line, but it was something like, I will break every bone in my body to get to you to feel your love. And what came up for me is this sense of, isn't that what I need to tell folks that are in my office? There's nothing that could be more important than reaching your partner, and you have to be willing to do everything and anything, including breaking every bones in your body. Not really, but what that really means is we're going to stretch ourselves and take risks and do what we have to do so that your partner doesn't have any doubt in their mind that they matter to you. And if you have that, your partner will respond. There's no question. We know that. We all need that connection. And when we don't have it, we are scared. We go into panic state. We do so many things that can then be seen as so destructive. But if your partner knows that you're willing to do whatever it takes, and they're willing to do whatever it takes, then when you have a conflict and it's not going so hot, you both can stand back, look at it, repair it, because you know that no one cares more about you than they do, and that you give them a break. And we all need people in our life that can give us a break, especially as guys. We know we need that. This is not a choice. What I know is that prior to my going away, I was hell to live with, and the people who work with me and help me in my practice know I was a bear, and there was very little that caused me to smile because I was just stressed to the max. And we all need to set time aside for ourselves, both weekly on a regular basis, but more importantly as a vacation. And what I want to share with you, because I shared a moment ago about the fact that I do these YouTube 3-Minute with Stuart videos, is that I was having to redo them because my program manager, who's a good friend, knows the quality of the work that I can do and knows what I want it to look like, kept telling me to redo them. She says, "You're not smiling. You need to smile. This is supposed to be you sharing people how good it is to have a good relationship while you look like death warmed over." And she was right. And I know, sitting at the cruise, reading a book, sitting by the pool, I was able to rejuvenate myself. And as a result of that, I had this incredible smile that has allowed me to reach my wife and have the two of us be more playful, have emails since I've been back that I've been interacting with. And just recently I was doing that with an attorney friend of mine. And as a result of the exchange, when we were talking about whether or not I need him to look over a document for me, I was able to joke with him that I know I did not do prior to this vacation. So it gives you a sense of joy in your life and allows you to really feel that your life is not just about work. And you know what happens when you get back? You're more productive. And as a matter of fact, one of the things, the interesting experiences that I've had is that as a result of when I went away and was able to do sort of some prep work on that, I have come back with a clarity of thought and an ability to put things into place so that you and I together are going to be able to have the next year something that's going to significantly help all of you, my community, to have the knowledge and the tools to have that kind of relationship where you and your partner can have each other's back, feel loved, and know that you're not going to be alone, because there's no one in the world that your partner would rather be with than you. So I want you to think about all of this week. Take care and stay connected. Bye-bye. We'll see you next time. And next week, we're going to have Ann Goshen, who's going to be a guest on my show, and she's going to be talking about relationships and how to handle conflict and make sure that when the two of you aren't able to handle things so well, repair is what we do. Take care and stay connected.
Thanks for listening to today's episode with your host, Stuart Fensterheim. You're one step closer to reigniting that fiery passion with your partner. For more information
and your 30-minute free phone consultation with Stuart,
visit www.thecouplesexpertscottsdale.com. We'll see you next time.